Welcome to the series of creative everyday exercises for the uniquely human. Ever feel like you need a reboot when you think of what exactly? As we know, and it's pretty common knowledge, that just a few minutes of regular continuity focus can help us stay on course to progress and stay human. My name is Sarah. This is part of my continuity practice, and I invite you to imagine with me. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself, I know my place. Some seasons we know where we want to go and know, or at least have some idea of how to get there, but it still feels that there's something missing or just off. Not necessarily one big thing, but a whole bunch of the little things. It can even be like when you have everything, but still without some sort of organization or rhyme and reason, you can end up just with a big mess. Here's the method to the madness. Spoiler alert, we're really not as different as we may think. As unique, individual, multi-passionate, diverse, creative, dynamic human beings, we all pretty much need and want many of the same things. Most of us have our concept of freedom, but it's very hard to see past the lure of protection. That's natural, since we were born virtually blind, unable to stand, with a good sense and agency to inch toward the mother's breast all covered in goo, seeking protection. By default, we seek protection from threats, real or perceived. Threats of deprivation, the elements, stagnation, predators, injury, illness, alienation. The underlying themes of the human experience. No wonder we're hardwired to neediness, the existential threat, the dysregulation of enough never being enough, because in order to survive, we constantly need more. From nature, culture, community, tradition, identity, commerce, politics, religion, biology, mythology, mysticism, philosophy, psychology, utilitarianism, you name it, to system, structure, and composition throughout all genres, studies, and continuums. Themes and theories of timeless truths and timely topics regarding the human condition compare, contrast, and converge in continuity. The magic, the X factor, the secret ingredient that makes sense of contrast and creates a sense of balance and direction in otherwise seemingly chaotic elements. But continuity is not only a fundamental component or a matter of perception, it is actually a measure of functional integrity, whatever we call it, whatever it may mean, and for whatever it's all worth. So do we really want a reboot of some regurgitated, increasingly convoluted, probably ultimately incompatible programming? Or do we need to defrag our own inherent operating system by practicing being human? As I said, this in and of itself is an everyday practice in continuity. I took the theme of a continuity reboot and alluded to an activity. Imagine with me, we'll get there. I added an inspirational quote as a sort of embedded continuity and then a bit more context. And now I'm laying out how the series of various Be Human With Me everyday creative continuity practices or activities, imagine, create, stretch, walk, play, practice, reflect, how they relate to those primal instincts and pretty universal ongoing human themes of coping, creativity, confidence, compassion, communication, clarity, and connection. Now here's the tricky thing. We're here trying to figure out how to find continuity in this series introduction on continuity so we can go more conventional and break down the outlines of various activities, practices, themes, or we can venture into a little bit of a more abstract matrix, a more demonstrative or immersive version of some of the main topics, a very condensed version. Yes, let's do that. Definitely comment if you want to share length, pacing, or other ideas. Now let's sort of reboot the reboot. Imagine with me. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself, I know my place. Turning to the page of our imagination, where our dreams feel safe, and the sky is open with all the possibilities that we desire. you see yourself grounded in wonder. You know your roots. You know where you want to go. The wind guides the way. In this place, you're filled with light as everything melts away. Your senses come alive as you see your path unfolding with the knowledge you've always had, that if you see it, you can be it. And as all the thoughts drift by, you hold that image in your mind. The power of seeing where you want to go fortifies the strength for you to arrive. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. And as you turn to the next page, you imagine your creative will, your survival instinct told you to hope. It made hope real. But what is will and hope without imagination? So you go deep inside to the light colors mixing in front of you that are the passion and power of balance and equalizing your emotions to create the world that you want in front of you. You explore line and shape and color and form. The movement takes on a life of its own. From all the elements that you can imagine, you know that hope is what you create. And the life that you want of balance and emotion, deep from the roots to the tips outstretched, is the empowerment of creation. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. And as you turn to the next page, where you imagine that inner power, the eternal spring, growing bright, bright, bright from within, through the stars and back, you understand that to make things happen, you must claim your own confidence. It's always been there, the inherent joy. It's not performative. It's wild and free, like your roots and leaves, and your shapes and lines, and scribbles and doodles. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. And as you turn to the next page, where your heart beats, and you march to the tune of your own song, the beat of your own drum, You feel your heart, where it resonates in your body. And how it outstretches the pulse of all that you care to share in the world as you explore by noticing nature, the wind, the trees, holding on to your thing in gratitude, walking to the steady beat. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. You turn to the next page of your imagination, where you feel free to play and to allow your inner being to come alive. Your inner child loves to dance. It doesn't matter if it's getting dark, because the moon is there and the stars twinkle, and your shadow is your friend. Of all your imagination, you're allowed to dance and skip and see the possibilities that you've known in your roots, and you've felt in your passion, and you've been affirmed in your confidence, your inner joy and gratitude, and you let it all out and experiment, because curiosity guides you through. I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. And as you turn to the next page, the beat comes out. It radiates further. You discover the balance, that it's not all binary, it's not all polarity. There is a congruity in different sides, and you're able to hold it all in balance. As you march, not with your feet this time, but tapping in to your true desires, tapping in to the things that you need to see, tapping in to the lessons that you know and that you are called to share. And as they channel through you, I root myself in seeds of grace, kind to myself. I know my place. You turn to the next page of your inner eye, where you imagine making the visualization of reality, having explored your thing and how it ties back to your heartstrings, the simple practices of every day that can feel a little brighter if you just integrate a moment of silence, a calm and soothing breath, an invigorating image that guides you and calls you to push on, to encourage yourself and find your voice and allow that voice to push forth. To see how it's all interconnected, and how through just a few moments of shameless effort, of concentration, of allowing yourself to be, you affirm the wisdom of inner, outer, the extra, the meta, the micro, the macro. The individual and collective. The holistic. Continuity. We showed up, we imagined, let's keep going. I hope to see you soon. In the meantime, be creative, do your thing, stay human.